Good afternoon. It is May 1st, 2025, and today we had a range day. Here's how it looks on the daily chart. It's a bull bar. We uh, broke out of this broad bull channel. I believe that is because we closed relatively strongly on the monthly chart. I believe that's why we gapped up today. And now it looks like what's today? Thursday. So tomorrow, um, we'll see how this weekly bar closes, but right now it's looking very strong. Um, so we'll just have to wait and see. But I actually marked up the 1300 tick chart. So let's take a look at it. So we were finding support down here early this morning. Um, we had this sell off. It bounced right here. You could enter with a limit order. You see this bar with the long stem. What time is that? That's at 5:30. When it ends with this long stem, and then it goes all the way back down here, maybe you drop a limit order in there. But then it pulls back to the EMA and drops again. But then we find support again. I wouldn't go long here just because we responded to the EMA, so I would want to wait and see. And this bar finishes with the stem on top. Then we break above the EMA, and then we sell off. And I kind of like this one. And we slow down again, and I like this one. Good signal bar, and that's like a nested wedge. Uh, so why is it a nested wedge? Well, you have a push down here, and then you have a push down here, and this whole thing is like the third push. So I'll put a 3 here, and then inside that you have 1. You could argue this is 2, and this is 3. So you have a nested wedge inside the greater wedge. So I think that's a really good uh, I think that's a really good entry. And then we flip flop a little bit before reversing. You get this spike and channel up. This is a tough call right here. Can you buy this? It looks like this is a bull channel, but you're right at the midline of this overnight range. Uh, so we get a break, move to a new high, double top before selling off pretty sharply. Um, then you get this lower high. I don't think you can get short in here. Again, you're at the midline, you're in the middle of this range, but we get an overshoot. Maybe you buy with a limit order down here. You have an overshoot of this channel, and it's a breakout, an attempted breakout to the low side of this range. But it looks like there's a news item at 7, so you don't want to take your chances on that. However, I do like this double bottom right here. Pretty good signal bar too. High or low, but the signal bar is no good. Failed second entry short. Could you consider that? You're in the middle of the range. I think it's a little iffy. Then we get a break and an attempt to go lower again that fails, and that forms this spike and channel up. Um, and then we come to resistance, and you get 2 legs back before bouncing, and then uh, you get a very strong bull bar right here. Could you take that? It kind of looks like a two-legged pullback, but and it's a breakout above the highs. I just think it's risky, but you could take that. But you want to go for a big reward here. Um, so that's something to think about. And then we get this pullback. So you could argue for this one. It's off the EMA. It looks like prices are responding to the EMA. So for that reason, I like this one. And it looks like we're just going sideways at that point. But then you get a second entry long confirming that trend line, and it's off of the EMA. So that's a pretty good one. Problem is, it looks like you're going into resistance, but ends up working out. Come up here, you get another second entry long. First entry, second entry, good signal bar off the EMA, off the trend line. And we fail to hit the measured move. So you try to break out here, it fails, double top, lower high. Maybe if you see all of that, you consider going short. Then you get, if you're viewing this as a failed breakout, a failed break higher, you get a second entry short right here. And bad bull follow through after this strong bull bar. So that's something to consider. Look how low risk that is. About 3 points. You get a big move out of that. If you like, what I like to do is, if you have this channel drawn, which you might have it a little steeper. Let's say you have it drawn like this, which is probably how you would have it drawn in real time. If you hold because it doesn't go back to the EMA here, what you could do is, after you get this strong breakout to the low side, I would just trail each bar, and that gets you pretty much all of the move. So anyway, we pull back. You can see there's a bull channel right there, break, 2 legs up, and you go lower high, double top, boom. If you see all that in real time right here, maybe you take that and go for the lows. And that's exactly where it goes. And we form this like sort of like inverted head and shoulders bottom. You got this left shoulder, inverted head, right shoulder. I kind of like the way this looks, to be honest, but that's a big bar, so you're risking quite a bit for a reward that isn't really clear. I don't think this gets you a measured move. So it does. All right, just about gets you a measured move there. So, um, but you have to hold through a lot of sideways stuff. That's tough. Sells off back to this level of support. I don't really see anything I'm crazy about in here, unfortunately, because you get a nice move up. Uh, uh, could that be a channel right there? It looks like that's a channel. You might consider this one. We're up near the highs. I don't really see much, so that's one last look at it. Um, Here's the daily chart, the monthly chart, and one last look at the weekly chart. You know, we've really come a long way since the beginning of last week. So it's been crazy, uh, but you just gotta watch the chart. Hope everyone had a good day. I'll be back tomorrow.